Do you know who you are? And I don't mean your name, your identity. I do not mean your relationships. You may be a father or a husband or a son or a daughter or a sister or a mother. I don't mean your name. I don't mean your professional. You could be a doctor. You could be a bus driver or a school teacher. No. Do you know who you are at your fundamental level? Do you know at your very core who you are? What I'm going to share with you today and talk about this topic, hopefully it will change your perspective about who you are and help you transform your life. At your core, at your very fundamental level, do you know who you are? You are peace. That is right. Each one of us, you, me, every human being that you know on earth is fundamentally at the core peace. Now I know immediately thoughts go through your mind. You know a lot of people who are anything but peace. Right? And we'll talk about that. We'll talk about why there are some people who are so agitated and who are anything but peace. We know there are a lot of people who are sometimes very difficult. We have people who are very violent people, and you're thinking they're anything but peace. And that's all right. We can talk about that. But everyone on earth, every human being, at their core is peace. You may find yourself in a situation where your boss is unhappy with you and your boss is giving you a hard time. She is really giving you a hard time, or he is giving you a hard time, right? And you're struggling, you're very frustrated. And at that time, it's very difficult for you to deal with that situation. Or you go back home and you're married and your spouse is very unhappy with you, right? He or she is very unhappy with you and you're in that. Or you have kids who are just troubling you a lot and it's driving you crazy. But in all of these circumstances, you have to remind yourself that I am peace. And if you reiterate that to yourself, if you repeat that affirmation to yourself, I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. It will begin to draw you in. Because no matter what situation you're facing, no matter how hard it is, maybe you're having trouble paying your mortgage, maybe you're having trouble paying your car, maybe you have just lost a promotion that was guaranteed to you, maybe you lost your job, or maybe you have a bad diagnosis from the doctor. All of these situations, and there are a million other situations in life that we could list that are quite difficult for all of us to handle. But all of these situations, you have to remember, are outside of you. At the inside, in your inner sanctum, you are peace. And you have to tell yourself and say, I am dealing with all these situations, I am dealing with all these circumstances, but they are external to me. Internally, I am peace. I cannot change your situations. You still will have an upset boss. But while you're standing in there and you're squirming, if you remind yourself and say, I am peace. Now, do not smile because that will make the boss even more upset. But you could say, I am peace. So when you go to your desk, do not be overwhelmed. Remind yourself, I am peace. This mantra, the right pronunciation is mantra. This mantra, it's a Sanskrit word, mantra, But this mantra, I am peace, is very important. It's an incredibly powerful affirmation that can reduce our consternations and our worries and help us become calmer. So if you find yourself in a situation which is really difficult, remind yourself, I am peace. At my core, I am peace. I am peace. Now you must be thinking, all right, I can keep saying that I am peace, and I might try and buy into that, but it's really difficult to accept I am peace. So let me share 2 examples with you to drive home the point. Imagine you're standing in a forest and or in a garden where there are a lot of birds, and the birds are chirping. When the birds are chirping, you do not hear silence. The birds keep chirping, and it could be melodious, it could be some birds are singing, or some birds could be screeching. Regardless of how melodious the sound is or not, the birds are making noise. And as long as the birds are making noise, you don't hear the silence. But silence exists. Silence is always present in the forest. When the birds go down, when the birds quieten down, when they become completely quiet, you suddenly hear silence. You say, there is silence. There is silence all around. And the silence had never left. Silence was always there. When the birds were chirping, you could not hear the silence. I'll give you another example. When you look at the ocean, it has a lot of waves, and it has violent waves, and there could be a storm and there can be a lot of waves, or the tides could create waves. And you look at the ocean and you say, well, the ocean is restless. But what is at the surface doesn't reflect what is at the bottom. At the bottom, the ocean is completely still. At the bottom, the ocean is completely still. At the surface, you can have all of these reverberations, you can have all of these disturbances. But when you go down, it is completely still. You and I are very similar to the forest and to the ocean. Remember, I said you are peace. At your core, you are peace. Your mind and the thoughts in your mind are constantly chirping. Your mind is constantly chirping. Non-stop. Sometimes even when you're sleeping, you have dreams and nightmares and the mind is chirping. You wake up in the morning and the mind starts chirping. And constantly chirping. When the mind is chirping, you do not realize that you are peace. But when the chirping stops, when the thought stops, and I know you're probably thinking, well, how do I stop the thoughts? We'll do another video about that. But stay with me. When the thoughts completely stop, when the chirping stops, when your mind is quiet, you are completely peace. You are absolutely peace. The thoughts are like the waves on the ocean, but at the very bottom, you are peace like the bottom of the ocean. This is an incredible point. This is an incredible point because it can change our life around. We associate ourselves with the thoughts and with the frenzy that is going on in our head all the time. But that frenzy is only a superficial layer. Now, we don't know anything other than that layer. That is why we associate with it. And we don't know that deep inside, we are peace and we are only peace. And that awareness is incredible, is life-changing. And as you listen to this mantra that you repeat to yourself, I am peace, and you learn to reduce the chirping in your head, the thoughts in your head, you will begin to experience the infinite silence that exists in you. You will go from peace to silence. You will experience that quietude that exists in you. And as you remind yourself, I am peace, and experience this silence, your life will begin to change. You will transform your life. This perspective that I am peace is one of the most powerful perspectives that you and I can develop. I am peace. Repeat, please. I am peace. I am peace. I am peace. Thank you for listening. I, the soul, honor you, the soul. At your core, you are peace. Be who you are. Be peace. Be peace. Be peace.